Shalom, Yashallah. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chachwadash, the honest and beloved elders, and the apostles like great millstone that taught me this truth. While peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp, and I'm doing this lesson, real quick based on a news announcement, breaking news. Another evidence, another receipt, another piece of proof that we can use that the scriptures are undefeated and that what's going on in these last days and the call to arms is unlike anything that we have dealt with so far, because Jacob's trouble in these last days coming ahead are going to be unlike anything that's ever been seen on this earth. And so you have these mass call to arms, the reservists down to the National Guard, to the certain people that are going to be added to this list of the future draftees, those ages from 18 to 25, added in December, because a world war is coming, whether this world, the different denominations and religions out there that think that it's going to be peace and safety. No, man, you need to prepare yourself for great tribulation, for the times that are coming ahead, that is going to cause mass distress upon the people, to where everybody is going to be dependent on ultimately their own relationship with a higher power, because through divine intervention is the only way that the elect, the 1/3, are going to make it out of here, Babylon the Great, in one piece. With that being said, the news announcement that I have today, that I saw on the news, circulating online, this is the U.S. Marines on reserve. So this is the U.S. reserves of the Marines, the extra soldiers that aren't even deployed. They need more bodies. So this is the U.S. Army on reserve are being told to prepare for combat. Prepare your family. Our nation expects its disciplined, capable force ready for immediate action. And if you know anything about the Marine Reserve, they go off every 2 weeks on training missions. What they're called. They're called, if you ever had a friend that joined the Marine Reserves or the Army Reserves, that's where the saying comes, or the term was coined, weekend warrior. They were weekend warriors. They would go out there and, do their training, shoot their guns, and then they would go back home and then continue to work whatever regular job that they had, because they're not full-time soldiers. But these are the same people that Babylon the Great is calling upon, in its need, because of the increasing escalation of conflicts around the world, So these, it reminds me of that scene all the time when you see reservists being called in that movie 300, and the Spartans, when he asked, Athenians, what is your profession? One said a potter, one said a blacksmith, one said a farmer, or whatever it is, because they're not full-time soldiers. They're just there because there's a conflict. That's an example of what these soldiers are doing. But we know that there are certain soldiers out there that are just preparing for this time their whole life, which is Babylon the Great's going to get rolled through. And that's what, in the scene in 300, when you had Leonidas turn around and ask his soldiers what their profession was, and all they said was who, because it's a representation, is all they do is fight, all they know is war. They're not just some part-time prophets, part-time soldiers, part-time anything, man. Their whole life is in this thing. So this news announcement is very eye-opening, because this letter was sent out on March 26th, but the news is circulating right now, as of April 19th. Today is, So the point being is that another thing that pointed and grabbed my attention is that this letter is the Commandant of the Marine Corps, which is the same high brass officials, generals, leaders that were in that meeting that was getting called out when that Marine got his arm broken. So this is Marine. So that's crazy, man. You know, the same person that put this letter out is the same person that watched the Marine get his arm broken because he said he didn't want to fight for Israel or Israel's war. You know, so Salakia, you know, I meant to get some scriptures, you know, before I got into this the letter. But this is Obadiah 1:9. And the mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. You know, and that we know is going to be through the way of warfare. This is 2nd Ezra 16:33. The virgins, which is the young women, shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And understanding them is that knowing that these tribulations are going to come upon the young men in these last days, because we know that the mass majority, but we know that the mass majority of this Gen Z is not going to want to go and fight. So that's why they're going to have to make it mandatory for this draft. I've done lessons personally on the great low decline of those willing to go and actually participate in the armed forces. You know, the recruitment levels have been low, you know, record lows for years and years and years, because America prides itself on being a 100% volunteer army. So we know that this happening right now just goes to show you that the pride, the patriotism, and the will to fight is fastly leaving Babylon the Great. You know, so I wanted to just close this lesson out real quick after I read this lesson, because I wanted to, you know, not blabber on. But this is just a telltale sign that they have to call on their reserves, because they are not having the adequate manpower to go deal with the threat over there in the so-called Middle East, dealing with Iran and their allied nations. But this is March 26, 2026, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, which is the head. This says, Marines, our nation is in consequential moment. Global events are shaping our nation's security, and we must be ready. I ask you directly, are you truly ready to deploy, fight, and win? Are your skills sharp, your standards high, and you're prepared for immediate movement? Is your desert Marpat readily available, which is your desert camo? Is your gear packed and ready to pick up and move? Or is it stored away in a corner of your home? Are your family affairs in order? When the call comes, readiness will be assumed, not questioned. Your readiness is not a declaration, it is a daily commitment. This is not a theoretical exercise. Our forces are currently engaged in operations connected to Iran and are positioned to preserve stability in the Western Hemisphere. Our enemies get a vote, and a mass mobilization could become reality. We are operating in this environment now. History demands our readiness today, tomorrow, and every day. This is the main point. It says, your preparation for combat is forged in your daily actions, your training, and the seriousness with which you handle every responsibility. We are measured not by our intentions, but by what we can do right now. And this is the point, Salakia, this last paragraph. Hear clearly what they're going to say. Check your readiness. Tighten your standards. Prepare your family. Our nation expects a disciplined, capable force ready for immediate action. That force is Marine Forces Reserve. That standard begins with and must be held by you. You know, this is the, you know, obviously, you know, the higher brass names after that. No, but this just goes to show you that this is not a game. Again, you know, these men will be going off to war. And the reserves is just another telltale sign of them being called up that war is increasing worldwide. You know, so as you can see, you know, this is real. You know, these letters are real. These aren't just fake news. So I'm just reporting on it, that is showing you that even the reserves are being deployed in this escalation and worldwide turmoil, conflicts, and the marching forward of World War III. So Lord willing that this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Till next time, I would like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chadash, and double honors to beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. While peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.